Good morning, Sir Joss. Today we're going to tackle about the optical art. Objectives: to define optical art, B. to determine the characteristic in optical art, and C. to determine the most distinguished artists and artworks in the optical period. Topics: definition of optical art, B. characteristic of optical art, C. distinguished artists in the optical art, D. distinguished artworks in the optical art. Introduction. Optical art, often shortened to OP art, is a captivating art movement that emerged in the mid-20th century. It's all about manipulating visual perception, creating illusion that challenge our understanding of what we see. Optical art paintings are a captivating blend of geometry, color, and illusion designed to challenge our perception of what we see. These works often feature bold contrasting colors and geometric patterns that appear to move, vibrate, or even warp of space. Optical art or OP art isn't limited to flat canvases. It extends into the world of three dimensions art, where sculptures become vehicles for visual illusion. OP art sculptures challenge our perception of space, movement, and even the every nature of the artwork itself. Optical art, with its focus on visual illusions and manipulation of perception, has found its way into architecture, albeit in a more subtle and less prevalent way than characteristic of Roman art. Keep Voss. Optical art, also known as OP art. Art is a visual art style that uses optical illusion to create a dynamic and engaging experience for the viewer. Main characters. First, geometric precision and abstraction. OP art is characterized by its precise and systematic approach to geometry. Illusions of movement. Perhaps the most defining characteristic of OP art is its ability to create illusions of movement and stability on a two-dimensional surface. High contrast and bold color schemes. OP art often employs high contrast color schemes featuring striking juxtapositions of complementary or contrasting colors. For repetition and rhythm. Repetition is a fundamental technique. In OP art, artists repeat geometric elements with slight variations in size, spacing, or orientation to create rhythmic patterns that intensify the optical effects.
Most distinguished artists and artworks. Here are three distinguished Roman artists along with their notable works and a brief description of their influence. Victor Vercelli. Victor Vercelli, considered the father of art, known for his bold, bright colors and geometric shape arranged in repetitive patterns. His famous work, Zebra, 1938, a black and white pattern of zigzagging lines that creates the illusion of a three-dimensional object. Villanueva, 1959, a large-scale installation in the courtyard of the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. Brigitte Riley. Brigitte Riley, born 1931, widely considered the queen of art, known for her black and white geometric shapes and arranged in patterns in create the illusion of movement and depth. Her famous works, Movement in Squares, 1961, a grid of black and white squares that create the illusion of movement. And also The Blaze, 19 62 features diagonal lines of red, pink, and black that appear to vibrate and pulsate. And Jesus Rafael Soto, 1923 to 2005, Venezuelan artist known for his immersive installations and sculptures that create optical illusions through the use of light and movement. For his famous penetrables, large-scale installation made up of suspended wires or other materials that the viewer can walk through, creating scenes of immersion and interaction. Other famous works, Vibration, a series of suspended metal plates that create the illusion of movement. Vasarely, also considered the father of art, is known for his bold colors and geometry that are the three distinguished Roman artists. They are the three distinguished Roman artists, Victor Vasarely, Bridget Riley, and Jesus Rafael Soto. They created notable works in op art. Vasarely, considered the father of op art, is also known for his bold colors and geometric shapes, such as zebra and veganar. Riley, considered the queen of op art, uses black and white geometric shapes to create movement and depth. Soto, a Venezuelan artist, is known for his immersive installations and sculptures such as penetrables and vibration. Viewer interaction of art is inherently interactive. Viewers are not passive observers but active participants in the visual experience. It's a style of visual art that uses optical illusions to create a dynamic relationship between the artwork and the viewer. It is inherently interactive because it relies on the viewer's perception and engagement to create its intended effect. In op art, geometric shapes, patterns, and contrasting colors are arranged in ways that can make the viewer's eyes feel as though they are moving or that the image itself is in emotion. Optical effects beyond the surface. Op art goes beyond the flat surface of the canvas. It tricks the viewer's eye into perceiving deep space and emotion. Op art creates the illusion of depth, space, and motion. Despite being flat and two-dimensional, this is one of its key characteristics. It challenges the viewer perception by manipulating visual cues that typically suggest depth or movement. Tricks the eye into seeing more than just a static image. It means op art pieces do not physically move. They engage the viewer's perceptual system to simulate motion by exploiting the way our eyes and brain process visual information. Op artists create an illusion of dynamism, making the artwork feel active in flux, even when it remains completely still. The static effects. The static works with simulated movement. Op art works are physically immobile, lacking any real movement. Op art works through physically static and immobile create the illusion of movement through carefully designed patterns, contrasts, and visual tricks. These works play with the way the human eye perceives visual information, causing it to interpret motion or non-physically exist. Scientific principles and visual effects. Scientific principles and visual effects. Op art is based on rigorous scientific principles to produce unprecedented. Op art is based on rigorous scientific principles, unprecedented visual effects. Optical art is a fascinating and challenging art form that plays with our perception of reality. It is use of geometric forms, contrasting colors, and optical illusions. Optical art is fascinating and challenging art form that plays with our perception of reality. It is use of geometric forms, contrasting colors, and optical illusions creates dynamic and engaging experience that invite viewers actively participate in the artwork. Characteristics of Roman art. Optical art, also known as op art, is a visual art style that uses optical illusions to create a dynamic and engaging experience for the viewer.
Summary. What is optical art? Optical art, also known as OP art, is a style of abstract art that uses visual illusions to create the sensation of movement, depth, and other perceptual effects. 2. What are the characteristics of optical art? The characteristic of optical art is geometric precision and abstraction. 2. Eye illusions of movement. 3. High contrast and bold color schemes. 4. Repetition and rhythm. 5. Viewer interaction. 6. Optical effects beyond the surface. 7. Static works with simulated movement. 8. Scientific principles and visual effects. 3. Who are the distinguished artists during the optical art period? Victor Vasarely, Jesus Rafael Soto, and Bridge Riley. Conclusion. Optical art or OP art has left a lasting impact on the art world and beyond, influencing various fields like graphic design, fashion, and architecture. The movement's emphasis on the interaction between art and the viewer paved the way for immersive installation and experiential artworks in contemporary art. Even though OP art reached its peak in the 1960s, its influence can still be seen today. Contemporary artists continue to experiment with optical illusions, pushing the boundaries of perception and challenging viewers to question their visual experiences. OP art has also found a new home in the digital realm, where artists create mesmerizing animations and interactive experiences. Optical art remains an influential movement that explores the intricate relationship between art and perception. Through the clever manipulation of optical illusions, OP art captivates viewers, challenging their visual experiences and creating a dynamic and immersive journey. From its origins in the 1960s to its impact on contemporary art, OP art continues to inspire and push the boundaries of artistic expression, reminding us of the endless possibilities of visual perception.